Master Nan Huai Chin. When entering meditation, these sounds may seem quite loud. This is the state of proper meditation, and ordinary people cannot hear such sounds. Case 7. Scientist, male. Translation. This person is now in his 60s. He began practicing super meditation in 1967. After 5 years of meditation, his body began to move involuntarily during both meditation and sleep, and this lasted for several weeks. A few months later, he began to feel vibrations in his calves, and his big toes spasmed. The vibrations spread to his back, and at one point, he saw red light along his spine. Slowly, the red light took the shape of a rod and moved up his spine. When it reached his head, he saw white light in his brain, which slowly transformed into a beam of light emerging from the top of his head. His right arm and left leg would tremble, but when he focused his attention on these parts, the trembling would stop. One time, when he focused on the center of his head, spasms began. He also heard high-frequency hissing sounds, and sometimes he would hear music or experience feelings of peace and joy. Later, due to the involuntary movements, his sleep was affected. Sometimes he would naturally adopt yoga postures and practice yoga breathing. The vibrations spread to his face, and when they reached his pelvis, they triggered sexual desire. 1 year later, he felt pressure in his head at night, which moved downward, while his stomach vibrated and moved upward. These two sensations met at the throat, where it seemed a hole had formed, emitting many sounds from within. The sensation felt as if it were coming from a very distant place. 6 months later, this sensation moved from his throat to his abdomen, and later to his pelvis. Master Nan. This person's experience is quite ordinary. Because he is older, his energy channels are hard to activate. In Taoist terms, his energy channels have not returned to the origin. The reason he hears sounds is due to two factors. First, the energy channel reaches the back of the brain through the auditory and visual nerves on both sides, but because the channel is blocked, it creates sound. This is similar to when a person has a cold and the energy channel is blocked, causing tinnitus. Second, in a state of proper meditation, one can sometimes hear sounds. In reality, these sounds are the internal noises of blood flow, breathing, and the heartbeat. During meditation, these sounds can seem very loud, and this is the state of proper meditation, which ordinary people cannot hear. As for his sensation of seeing himself from a distant place, there are generally two possibilities. First, he began practicing late in life and his vitality is weak, which causes this sensation. Second, for those who truly practice meditation, this feeling of separation is a precursor to entering the first level of meditation, which brings joy and bliss. The two situations are different, but it is hard to explain clearly. The phenomenon of separation in proper meditation is accompanied by a sense of purity and fulfillment. On the other hand, for older individuals or those somewhat weak, while they may feel clear, there is still a slightly obscure feeling. This is a rough explanation of the two cases. The phenomena described in the previous cases are neither good nor bad. If one understands the Buddhist wisdom of emptiness, these are all positive things. These phenomena are just part of an accidental process. Detachment is the key. Bill Baudry. Compared to the previous cases, this person has more body movements. Why? Master Nan. Every person's physical constitution and psychological state are different, so their reactions vary. For example, the size of one's heart, whether they experience jealousy, the degree of their temper, all these are results of different karmas. Even identical twins, who appear to be the same, are actually different due to their distinct karmas. If we discuss this in more detail, it involves many factors. Look, the billions of people in the world may all have 2 eyes and 1 nose, and similar brain structures, yet each person is different. This is due to the differences in their karmas. In the same way, due to different karmas, even if 2 people are meditating, their movements will differ. Several cases have mentioned that even though they never learned yoga, they naturally perform various yoga poses. This is because the most primitive forms of yoga and Taoist exercises emerged naturally when the energy channels were activated. Over time, these natural movements developed into different schools of thought.